Hello, friends! Welcome to another episode of The Mind of the Martyr. We seem to be a little bit wiggly behind the scenes here, but that's okay. We're having a good time. We're having some fun. Hi! Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're keeping well. All of that nonsense. And, hope you're keeping safe and warm and feeling okay. We are here to play some D&D and have some fun. And hopefully raise a little bit more money for charity. Those of you who have been taking a look at the channel have seen that we were doing a level 20 charity one-shot in order to raise money for breast cancer research with our good friend Roachzilla, who is part of our Emporium network. Since the donations are still open for a little while longer, we thought we'd go ahead and jump on the bandwagon as well and keep those open. So yeah, in the chat right now, I don't actually know what way I'm somewhere, you'll find a couple of donation links and some incentives to help out our party here. You hopefully won't need any of them, but you can stock them up for the future as well, players, so remember that. And make sure you use them at the most dramatic of times. So anything that you can spare would be super appreciated. Obviously, we are currently in hell, but if you do find yourself with a little bit of disposable income, it would be super appreciated. You'd be helping out a very good cause. With that being said, we have a couple of affiliates on the channel here that help to keep us going. We have the wonderful folks at So Nerdware, who deal with a whole bunch of TTRPG-related paraphernalia, whether that be dice, shirts, mugs. You can go ahead and check them out. Use the code FRIENDS for 10% off your purchase there. We also have the wonderful folks at Grinding Coffee, a Black LGBT plus owned coffee company. They do some fantastic blends. They've just restocked the Cowboy blend, which stereotypically, of course, is going to be the one I pick. I am very excited. I wish that shipping to the UK wasn't too painful, but I am excited. Go ahead and use the code FWRD for a discount off your purchase there. If you're not too sure on the flavors, they also do a selection of sample packs. So you can get a little bit of everything and then go ahead and do what I do and just buy in bulk, because coffee is your lifeblood.
Question, do you own a cowboy hat?
No.
Better question.
I own a pirate hat.
Do you own cowboy boots?
I don't own any boots at all.
This needs to
unfortunately.
Agreed. How are you supposed to be a cowboy if you don't own cowboy things?
Look, I'm just a queer cowboy asking to be loved, okay? I don't need... That's it. And suddenly the train of thought has just gone, let's get into the game, shall we? Who wants to go ahead and recap for everybody, just as we are finding ourselves in a bit of a lull in the action, a little bit of a quiet moment.
Is it a lull? Is it though?
I think Aridin should recap since it's her sister.
Yes, I like this.
You have been voluntold.
Yes. I got my handy dandy notebook. Okay,
I mean, like, you do take the best notes out of all of us.
True.
In that you take notes.
I probably take like too much notes, too many. So we came back into the action where we meet not only Matriana, but a tiefling that is with her that is revealed to be Aridin's sister. We try talking our way out. It doesn't go very well. So we fight. Matriana takes off, and we fight with Esther. And we manage to knock her out and keep her alive. We basically tied her up and started making our way to Ansaya. I think we managed to get a wagon, and Ton was banished for the whole fight. Came back and was like, what the fuck? And I just think that's neat. Aridin gives Matriana's sword to Ton to keep it away from Esther, since they will be traveling with her. And that is what happened.
There's one loose end you forgot to mention. Somewhere out there, there is a Kruthic worm hybrid and a
Yes.
Commander Kruthic somewhere. And the loose end will likely come back to bite us in the bum.
Even though we tried to handle that.
Yes.
And they got
And not-
teleported.
Hey, we handled it. We didn't get killed.
Yeah, that's the best
We're
we could
not
do
dead.
at level 6.
We handled it. We didn't get killed, and it is technically out of the city.
And can we talk about how Esther used a level 5 spell? That's fine. I'm sure that's fine.
That's fine.
It's totally fine. We're not in over our heads. It's cool.
Well, she is currently tied up in the wagon with y'all, so clearly someone came out on top. Yeah. With the events that happened, the military that you had spoken to, led by the head of the Unsigned military, Sinclair, split his forces, one occupying the city of Satane and clearing out hopefully no Kruthic resistance, but you can never be too careful. The other half now on their way to Yilton to see what on earth is happening with the disappearances there. With this, the supplies were dropped off, and the relatively large supply wagon becomes your makeshift home for the next week or so as you're traveling forwards. Stereotypical large supply wagon, pulled by 2 horses with a canopy over the top. Nothing too special about it and not particularly comfortable, but you can go ahead and kind of go ahead and spread out your camping gear and sleep in a little strange cuddle bundle in the background as you begin to travel on your way to Ansaya. You do have quite a bit of time during this travel. And I think it's going to be a good chance for the party to speak and interact and perhaps get to know each other a little better. So, if there is anything you would like to say, do ask. Please go ahead.
Time to watch with hard eyes as the clerics
Yeah.
bond.
I was gonna say, Dawan's going to approach Valentine and Jacaranda with her medic toolkit and pull out a couple books. So, based on the previous battle, I feel like we should probably try to organize our spells a little more coherently. How do you both feel about this?
Yeah. And so you see it's almost like a rib cage like opening of branches, and then she pulls out her like books and stuff too, because she holds all of her stuff like inside of her. She doesn't have like bags and stuff.
You see Valentine look absolutely fascinated with that, and she's got her big like shoulder bag type of situation going on, and she like pulls it open and like pulls out a couple of books, and she's like, yeah, let's do this. What do you propose, Valen? How should we do this?
Jessie quickly pulls up Dawan's character sheet because she failed to do that sooner. My focus is primarily on our I usually focus more on healing. So if I could, I don't mind taking the brunt of healing spells if one wants to focus on supporting the party and helping attack cleric.
Mara would butt in. I think we should go offense, defense, and healing. She's very tactical about these things.
Well, I have some of the healing spells I can't unprepare just because that's the way I am. It's how I was born. But I can diversify a few of my other spells.
I need to. Alright, I'm removing all of my spells.
I've got a mix. I've got a bit of healing, but then I've got a lot of I'm a Tempest cleric, you see, so I've got a lot of things like fog clouds and making gusts of wind and thunder waves and lightning. Lots of.
Okay, she's offensive cleric.
I guess so.
Most
Stormy things.
of my
Go ahead.
most of my always prepared skills are nature based, like bark skin or anything with growth.
Okay.
Funny, because I'm not made out of plants.
I mean, I think this is why we get along. But I like being offensive. I do enjoy that. I do have a few defensive things, and kind of like with my clairvoyance and sixth sense, S's are really hard for me lately. I apologize. I don't know what that would be considered. Defense?
It's
knowledge
defense.
is
I think knowledge
the
is
best
defense.
Defense?
Yes.
But then I like stuff like spirit guardians and that kind of stuff.
I feel like it's okay if we all have an offensive skill. I think that's just careful and clever thinking. Not Anne, but some offensive skills. This makes sense to me.
But if you're going to have mass healing word prepared, I guess I won't.
Okay, this is helpful.
So let's see what I should do. Oh, I can do water walk if we come across water again.
Yeah, I'd prefer to avoid.
Yeah, but then you can be on top of the water and you would be avoiding it.
Can anyone help me with buffing the party? I've been doing a lot of buffing.
This is true.
Everyone now just checking their spells. Just like, what can I do?
How
Okay.
interesting for everyone.
Healing wounds.
What?
I don't really have. I have enhance ability.
Perhaps protection from evil and good, if you have it,
Oh yeah, I do have that.
would be good.
That would be. Well, do you think we're going to run into aberrations, celestials, elemental, fae, fiends, and undead? Are any of these what that?
Listen, we ran into giant worms in the bottom of the city. I have no idea what we're going to encounter with this group.
Aberration?
Speaking of what spells you guys have, do you guys think that maybe you could help Eridan recover her memories if that's something she's wanting?
all 3 clerics turn to look at Aridin.
Yeah, like, is this something you want?
Well, I feel like while you guys are talking, Aridin and Orin are probably talking.
Yeah.
So you guys all look over at her and they're just like, oh yeah, this is so did not hear the question. Leona, you are adorable. Sorry, I just saw your comment.
I listen. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to D&D. I literally do not. I don't. I don't know how people think I'm some sort of serious gaming person. I don't even know what I'm doing with D&D.
Serious.
It's okay. We're all learning.
That's what he does.
Have you seen this group of people? I'm the least professional.
Nice.
I guess Dawan would Aridin.
Yes.
Do you have any interest in trying to recover your lost memories? I'm not promising anything. I just wanted to see if that was something you wish to pursue. If you would like us, gestures at 3 clerics, to do some research.
Memories can be pretty tricky.
We don't want to promise anything.
And we don't want to force you into anything.
I appreciate you asking. I don't know at this moment. I think part of me doesn't want to know. I think she was a very different person, and I think I'm okay with. The only reason I would want to know is I think that the information that I had would be helpful to us now. But for the time being, I don't think so.
That is very reasonable. That is
And-
very understandable.
If it comes down to it and we do need that information, then I would consider it. But
So would it be okay if they do some research on maybe magics that would help with that in case we do get to a point where that is necessary?
yes, that would be okay. Thank you.
Of course. And if this was a Blades in the Dark game, we would start a long-term clock.
Ooh, a Blaze in the Dark D&D mashup?
Who says the clock isn't already ticking?
Blades in the Dungeons.
It's
Oh, no.
Blades in the Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons in the Dark.
That would be a dungeon, yes.
I would just be dungeon.
Oh my gosh.
We would be playing Dungeons and Dungeons.
Dungeons.
Shoots
Just
and
out
ladders?
of
This is
curiosity, and you may have said it and I wasn't paying attention earlier, but like, what's the kind of outlay right now? So we definitely have Esther on a cart, handcuffed somewhere. Are we walking behind the cart? Are we on the cart? Are there multiple carts?
There is one large supply wagon. If you would like to all be on said wagon, you will go a lot faster.
Yeah, I
than
assumed we
just
were
kind
all
of
in it.
walking, as you don't have mounts as of yet.
Okay.
Yeah, as it currently stands, you would probably be in the wagon, as it will speed up your journey. Esther is pretty much unconscious for the better part of a day, maybe a day and a half. She's
Okay.
out. So
So how many members of the army are with us? Sinclair and then one other person?
it's just Sinclair.
Just Sinclair. So he's
Yes.
driving the cart?
Sinclair is driving. Yes. He is up the front and he's kind of unless you want to engage in conversation with him, he doesn't really mind what you're doing back there or what you're talking about. But he's not unapproachable, if that makes sense. You can poke him if you want to.
Gotcha. I just wanted to make sure that we're not having this conversation about like, hey, do you want to get your memories back? And her sister's standing there like,
No, she is definitely unconscious for at least a day, maybe two.
Well, and her sister already knows that she doesn't have her memories. We had this conversation during the fight.
yeah.
Y'all did a number on her, so she needs to rest up. The path, as you are kind of continuing to discuss and plan, the path takes you past lands you've already been to. You see that you excuse me. You see that you pass by Keen and travel through the village there. You continue up through Janezo and past Uten. As
when
you
we
travel
go through Janezo, we have lunch.
I
I gotta go see Adam and the birds.
I was gonna say, is that because you want juice? You want a juice and burbs?
Yeah, we need some smoothies.
Cool. Yeah, you can go ahead and stop off there for lunch real quick. Sinclair is not particularly happy about it. He's very much kind of like, all right, if you must, but make it quick. I'd rather get back to the city as soon as possible. I would rather not keep Her Highness waiting. Go ahead. He kind of just... That rigid military personality as he just kind of sits in the wagon and waits. As you all go ahead and have lunch and talk and all of that kind of thing, you're able to sit there and wait until you return.
I talk to the worms.
Yes.
Tell them to let the queen to be aware of Matriona and anyone bearing that symbol.
All right, and they'll go ahead and take that to heart as they go ahead and head back and begin to relay that also to their queen. Yeah, and this town seems to be partially under construction. There seem to be things that are being built, fresh things, new things. It's mostly scaffolding right now, so you can't really tell. But you can see that they're definitely starting a different infrastructure in this town than it was before. Yeah, progress is being made here, one way or another. Unless y'all have any other poking around you want to do, you can continue up to the north. The climate begins to feel a little strange as you go up to the north. Even though the area around you is still mostly forest, the heat becomes incredibly dry. You notice the humidity being pulled out of the air almost. As you begin to continue north, looking around to your right-hand side, you see through the forest, you don't see ground, you don't see dirt, you see sand. As if the section of a desert has just spilled into a forest. And it's strange in the fact that the natural area doesn't seem to have been affected. Normally, if something were to happen to this ecosystem, then something would change. The trees maybe die out or the ground changes, but it's almost as if it's two completely different biomes just existing, cohabitating. You see small scorpions mixed into the sand while you're also looking at the chipmunks in the trees. It's a little jarring. As you continue north, Sinclair will turn to you. More than likely there will be a short, just a short situation. We are heading into Camp Oasis, so they will want to check the wagon and make sure that we are not bringing anything that will harbor ill will towards Ansaya. Just a guard post. especially considering the current issues we're having here. You may be asked to disarm briefly. Just briefly. Do not worry. I will be doing the same. He nods towards you all. You watch as his gaze kind of sticks to his right side. He's looking out towards this strange amalgamation of nature. Never really get over it. Every time you pass it. Always just feels a bit off. Could also be that I'm just not a magic person. He'll go ahead and kind of get the horses to move a little faster as you continue up north.
Mara's loving it because to her it's perfect chaos. These two biomes coming together. Yes.
You continue up to see a rather small but well-built fortification. As you approach, there only seems to be a couple of guards, both outside of this small gate and the towers themselves. It appears to be a small makeshift fort used as a checkpoint. You immediately see, as you begin to pull up, there isn't actually a lot in this checkpoint. There seems to be a small barracks, a small open eating area, a tent which is used for what seems to be just paperwork and other such things, and the soldiers themselves. They also wear the colors of and the Ansian military.
So how many days has this been?
At this point, probably a day, almost two. The majority of the stretch of the journey is still yet to come as you arrive at this checkpoint.
And have we stopped at night or have we continued on going the whole time?
That is up to y'all. You can go ahead and rest if you would like. The back of the wagon is always there if you wanted to go ahead and get in.
Has Sinclair wanted to stop or has he wanted to continue?
Nope, he's pushing on.
Okay, so during this time, besides the other discussions, I would have had a discussion with Oren on tactics to try to, like, when he's doing his monk stuff, me assist him to maybe work eventually towards like a pack tactics kind of thing, so that when I help him to do his attacks, he gets advantage.
I like it. I like
so
that idea.
We'll be discussing that. We can't actually do it because we're traveling in the wagon, but for future plans, so like we're making sketches and talking about different things.
Very cool. Yay.
Awesome. There is a moment as you approach. You hear one of the guards just, "Hold, please." He salutes a rather kind of clumsy salute. Sir Sinclair, didn't realize it was you. Apologies. Well, protocol is protocol. He suddenly becomes nervous in his armor as he begins to take a look and realize there's more people in the back of the wagon. He kind of lifts up the tarpaulin and just, hi. Would you mind stepping out, please?
Certainly. I assume we're supposed to be leaving weapons on board, yeah?
If you can go ahead and give them to my fellow inspector here. This is an interesting crew. He kind of pulls down the tarpaulin, a little confused as he waits for you to dismount.
So
I jump down and
it's him and then someone else next to him, right outside the. So she would lift the flat back up right after he leaves, and it's like, we do have a prisoner, and we don't want to leave her alone. She's very dangerous.
He pauses a little, and as you're now kind of looking at him properly, you see a relatively built half-orc gentleman seems to have just the stereotypical sword and board setup going on. His partner next to him, a tiefling. They seem, again, a little well-built, typical sword and board, wearing the Ensign colors. And he looks to them, and they look back to him. They pause, they kind of look at each other. And then you watch as they slowly raise a fist up and just 1, 2, 3. You watch the tiefling just, damn it. Right, fine. The half-orc looks a little smug as he just, all right, you can step out. My friend here will watch your prisoner. Make sure that they don't do anything rash. You're with Sinclair, so we trust you. He gives a little sly smile over to the tiefling, who just begins to wander over.
She hops down and presents her weapons.
They are taken from you very carefully and are deposited in what seems to be this slightly magical box. It's relatively nice, relatively woven, but you notice a small flash as soon as the weapon goes in. He just turns to you. Just a precaution, just to make sure nothing funny happens.
That's not gonna do anything weird with my staff, is it? This is from the branches of a goddess, you know.
No, he's serious.
You're funny.
Yeah, I'm not joking. Don't fuck it up,
no.
right? And he'll hand it.
Just takes it. And then very swiftly just places it in the box and kind of... and the rest of you?
Just your weapons, right? You don't need my broom?
No.
Good. She'll hand over her daggers and she'll just go, good. And you can see her like possessively clutching her broom.
Takes the daggers and just still actually just locking eyes with you as he just kind of places them to the side, trying to suss you out, but he's not quite managing it.
He just gets like the brightest smile from Valentine. Like she just
he throws a quick glance to Sinclair, who is just currently still on the front of the wagon, deadpan, and he just right. Okay. Slowly but surely, as you all dismount one by one, with your interesting array of weapons, begins to slowly and carefully place them into this box.
Airden nervously gives up hers and Esther's.
Dawan opens up her healing kit and pulls out a mace.
Nice. The best sort of healing.
I feel like, because your box is like yay big, do you pull it out and like snap it open like...
Yeah, sure. It's just like the head of the mace and I pull out like, it's a collapsible.
And the part of the mace that like almost looks like it could be, it's like vaguely shaped like a jar.
Yeah.
And then you grab the cork and...
Yes. You know, that's happening, right? This is the thing.
It sounds really cool.
Sure.
I
I'm
don't
here for
use my mace very often, so
That's
it's
why
last
it folds. That's why it's folded up.
I
It's
see.
not easily accessible.
A collapsible mace. I see.
collapsible mace.
I'm fine with this.
Okay,
Is it one of
good.
those like mechanical umbrellas? It has the little button.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know about button. The button is the cork.
One pops the cork. I call this one painkiller.
Yes.
I love it.
I love it.
Yes.
All right.
So Jacaranda's like arm, the vines like unwrap, and then that's where like her mace is, and so she gives them that. And then the she has like a crossbow on her back, so she gives that over too.
Similar to Valentine, his eyes lock with you for a moment as he takes the mace away, puts it down, watching you this like unravel from your arm. He's just very kind of Master Sinclair, can I have a word, please? Turns and immediately kind of wanders over to the side there as you hear the tiefling inspecting the back of the wagon. You just hear, "Good Lord, what did you do?" I
Dangerous. She's very dangerous.
I mean, I know that. That's why I'm not touching her, but still. Anyway, begins to step forward and pulls like a small notepad. Reasons for crossing the border?
Prisoner delivery. Queen owes us a boon.
We were hired to
Queen
take
wants
care
to
of.
meet us.
We were hired to take care of some buggies down south. Coming up to
We're
report.
Kruthic exterminators, and we have come to collect our fee.
Begins furiously scribbling, looks towards each of you. Would you consider that your vocations as well?
I'm just tagging along.
I would definitely say I'm not a Kruthic exterminator full time.
Basically a tree.
For your purposes, we're swords for hire.
Kind of nods again, a little confused, looking between all of you. Goes ahead and writes it down. All right. You know what? Never mind. He closes the book. You watch as his. He actually has quite soft horns, so they kind of move a little as his kind of like ears and his face moves around. He just. All right. Very well. One moment. And just begins to slowly walk away to join what you can all hear is now becoming a rather heated conversation between this other guard and Sinclair. Or at least the guard is heated, Sinclair being his usual stoic self. You have a few moments to look around this camp. You can see it is incredibly bare bones. Although their equipment is relatively top of the line, the soldiers most certainly are not. You recognize the same kind of greenhorn attitude that you've already heard. Or heard and seen, I should say, from the military that you've met in the past. Again, these do not seem to be the highly trained individuals, even though you would think a border like this would have people who know what they were doing. The mess hall area seems relatively unkempt. You can imagine they probably don't see a whole lot of traffic, and if they do, they're probably not inspected that often. They most certainly were not expecting the captain of the guard to arrive unannounced, and they seem very on edge and tense as you wait a moment.
What does Amara know about the kingdom we're going to?
Ansaya is one of the more influential kingdoms of Vega. The area itself is relatively well built. There's quite a few highly built cities It has a very high population, one of the highest populations on the planet. It is not super magically ingrained. There is, a Magicanum presence here, but not a particularly massive one. Most
Do
certainly.
They have a lot of imports, exports type thing?
Yes. The section. There is a city to the north called Vassalon. Their main export is soldiers. Their more advanced military is some of the best military on the planet, and as such, they are usually sent to deal with problems that other kingdoms cannot spare the men to deal with.
Just not the ones we're experiencing currently.
Just not the ones you're experiencing currently, which in itself is probably an indication that Ansaya is currently struggling on multiple fronts. The fact that they don't actually have enough highly trained individuals to be staffing their regular posts means that there is something going on, although to what degree you are currently unsure. You would also know that Ansaya has a pretty good relation with with every other kingdom on its continent. Ansaya and Endir have had their problems in the past, but right now they seem to have a relatively strong alliance. And pretty much all of the surrounding areas, one way or another, are in some kind of either research agreement or trading agreement. Things have been relatively quiet for quite a few years now.
Does my husband's family have interests in Ansaya?
Oh, most certainly. Ansaya is probably the most powerful of the four factions on this continent, by quite a considerable margin, and as such, whatever alliances you can pull the strings of, the better you're going to end up faring.
Okay. And Mara knows those strings to pull, I assume?
You would know a few, probably not all of them. You know that there are individuals in Ansaya that can be relatively easily influenced. However, both Sinclair and Queen Elowen are incredibly powerful individuals. They are very much individuals that cannot be swayed so easily.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking if I need to make a run for it, is there somewhere I would know to run?
Certainly, yes. There are small hideouts in the city of Scythia, here, there, and everywhere. Places that you could lie low if you required to.
Okay. Or at least get word to my husband's family. Come help. Help! I need help!
Yes, certainly. So it takes a little moment as all this is going on. Sinclair suddenly breaks away from his conversation, not even dismissing them. He just walks away and approaches you and just... I am sorry for these morons. They... How you say... agoraphobic. They haven't gotten out much. You may pick up your weapons. I apologize so much for the delay. You watch as he kind of kicks the ground a little bit in frustration as he crosses his arms. And, I hope they didn't pester you for too much information.
No.
We're all right.
Not particularly.
But I'm going to have some questions for you. But like you said, let's get back on the road.
As you settle this, he kind of stares at Valentine for a moment, just, all right, is better than what I would call them. Let's get moving. He kind of frustratedly picks up his own weapon, which was also deposited into the box during all of this debacle. Remounts. You can go ahead and get on your way. Unless there's
I'm
anything
going to
else.
ride up front with Sinclair. I have questions.
I'm going to poke him for information. Alrighty. You go ahead, collect your things, and continue on north. Well, what would you like to talk to Sinclair about?
Why is this border so unprotected?
Things have been interesting as of late. I'm not really at liberty to say too much, especially considering military secrets and movements, as you can imagine.
Are you experiencing other infestations?
Not other infestations. And he kind of looks towards the back of the wagon and kind of begins to address all of you. More disappearances. People, towns, villages, gone, missing, empty. All around Vega. It's stretched us very thin, especially considering that everywhere has mobilized what forces they can in order to protect their towns and villages directly. This is incredibly odd.
Witness the disappearances. Were there anyone left behind to recount what happened?
Nothing.
Have you had ships go missing as well?
I'm awaiting a full report, but it seems like a few of our non-military ships have gone missing. Passenger cruisers, cargo ships, and the like.
When you've gotten reports about these disappearances, is there anything that is similarity between the different events? Anything like black powder being left behind?
I assume, judging by our previous conversations, that you'll know what happened in Yilton. Our reports feared as much. I assume the same happened there as happened to us. Entire place is gone, left with nothing but a black soot in their place.
Aridin and I have seen it firsthand. When we met, we were on an airship, and people just started blinking out of existence, leaving nothing but a pile of the black ash. It's quite frightening, actually.
He turns back to address the rest of the party, and he just says, "And you're sure these are the people you wanted to go ahead and tag along with? It seems as though you seem to be carrying trouble with them."
Wrong place at the wrong time, that's all I think.
Agreed.
Looks out
So
towards the
why
rest
are
of
you
the party.
sending armies out? I don't understand. If people are disappearing, it doesn't sound like an army is going to be able to stop that from happening.
We are using the military to patrol both the skies and the land around the towns that have not been affected. It seems to have slowed the rate, at the very least. We haven't had anything in Ansaya, at least, for a while. It seems like if the population is too small, well, whatever it is, doesn't happen. Our small scouting camps and such, they have not been affected.
And your wizards and scholars have no clues?
Not as of yet. And the Magicanum are being stingy with their information, as always.
You heard anything about a group called The Nest, by chance?
The Nest? Everyone knows the Nest. An imaginary group of criminals.
Imaginary.
Nothing but... It is nothing but an old tale. People going ahead and crediting themselves as the Nest, when in reality they are nothing more than a band of brigands.
I don't know if I'd be so sure about that.
That might be what they want you to think.
Possibly. And pretty much everyone here, you would recognize the Nest as essentially an old kind of urban legend, as it were, of a vast network of thieves, criminals, and other such individuals that seem to have connections across the entirety of Vega. It is said that where there is a city, there is the Nest, but no one has ever managed to actually concretely confirm of the Nest's existence, or at the very least, perhaps not live to tell the tale. Pretty much all of you would know this. Jacaranda, you know this to be 100% true. During your travels, you have picked up on bits and pieces in the areas that you've stayed at that have definitely confirmed the existence of this vast underbelly of the world, essentially. You probably don't know any particular details, but you've heard whispers through the leaves, as it were.
I like to think she was going to look for a nest. And then came.
Have any of you seen a nest? Just a nest, and then found some information.
I wanted to wear it as a hat.
You usually find it underground for some reason. Underground nest.
DM question, because it's been a while. Did we meet A?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the crow? The raven?
The crow.
There was another one.
Which one was the crow?
The crow was
Was
an
that Bo?
informant. Yes.
Was
He
Bo,
had his...
and then Bo was actually Malithuk.
Yeah,
Yes.
Malithuk.
For those of you who did not catch that episode, or for our new friends here as well, the Nest is ran, quote unquote, by a mysterious figure known simply as A. Our party members relatively recently found out that this A calls himself the Albatross.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She's an interesting individual, incredibly flamboyant, completely gender fluid, just doesn't really mind what they're called, as long as you are there with some respect. You didn't learn too much about them, only that he has some semblance of magic and connection to one of your previous party members. But other than that, you did not find out too much about her.
Can I just say that Albatross is like the least intimidating evil person, shady underground person, code name, to date?
They're called the Albatross because 1, they are flamboyant, and 2, they are the one with the largest wingspan. They are the one that is able to reach further than any other bird.
Yeah, but now I just picture like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. Mine.
That's fair. You can do that if you'd like.
Albatross are huge, though.
They are huge.
Valentine, have you heard in your travels of just places disappearing?
I mean, not where I've been, but then I heard about a place disappearing after I had visited it, but I never went back to investigate. And I don't know too much about these nests. I've seen a bunch of different kinds of nests, but I don't know if I know about this nest. I mean, I've heard rumors about some kinds of nests. I'm not sure. You just get a stream of consciousness from Valentine, apparently.
They're a nasty sort. They were on the ship that Orin and I were on, and they were there when the disappearances were happening. Didn't one of them call out to you, Orin?
Yeah, the ship manager, he hired me originally. That's how I got passage on the ship. I didn't have much money to my name, so I worked in order to get to Zenry. I met him the once when he hired me, and then creepy bastard called me out, said I'll see you later. Freaked me out, and then he disappeared, just like everybody else was.
But why would the nest want to disappear people? I don't think they're responsible for this.
Might not be necessarily responsible, but they might be working with who is, if something good is in it for them.
So what would be the reasoning to steal a bunch of people? You need workers for something. You need to feed something. I mean, I doubt they're just dead because there's no reason to disappear them.
If they needed just the space, maybe.
The Jacaranda was experimenting on Kruthic. I don't think they're necessary. There's probably some factions that aren't above experimenting on people.
But the Magicarnum is sneaky. There wouldn't be just disappearing bunches of people and make it noticeable. They like to do stuff on the shady, in the shadows.
It might be easy to blame some kind of vast criminal underbelly as a scapegoat when you're really doing the disappearing.
If it is someone else, it could still be something magical, experimentation-wise, or it is.
I don't know. I think if the Magicarnum wanted to take everyone out, they could just do it. They're that powerful, whether we like it or not.
But if it was just a segment of the Magicarnum, maybe they wouldn't be as powerful. Not the whole Magicarnum doing it specifically.
The shadier ones are the most powerful ones.
We have the Magicarnum, the Luna Cerritos, and the Kruthic. And then we have the nest and these people disappearing.
Don't forget the worms.
Our hands are full.
Unless it's all just one thing.
You get a slight chuckle out of Sinclair. Sounds like you have a lot of leads. Far more than I have.
Does Mara know any stories about any time in history where people have just disappeared?
Go ahead and roll a history check for me. I would also like...
Natural 20. Oh, yeah. 25. Woot, woot. And this is why I don't need to use those advantages.
I would also like Valentine to roll a d20 and a d4, please.
Ooh, okay. The D20 is a 6. The D4 is a 3.
A 6 and a 3. Okay. Cool.
I don't like it when Ray asks us to roll.
I'm nervous.
That's okay. So a 6 and a 3. So 9. That's cool. Gonna hold on to that for a little while. Natural 20 on the history check. So for the history check, there are instances of places being attacked, occasionally eradicated, people disappearing, individuals disappearing. Anything on this scale? No. Or at the very least, if it has disappeared, it's been because of a battle or a particular situation. Nothing like this has ever appeared in history. This is
no Krakatoa type thing that can come back and okay.
No, whatever this is, it's brand new.
I hate it.
There is a slight mumble and murmur and groaning as you begin to travel past this border, now fully into the Kingdom of Ansaya. Probably day 2 of your travel, as a very groggy, very injured Esther regains consciousness slowly. Now fully bound and gagged in order to stop any particular casts. Esther's eyes just dart around the place.
I sit in front of her and I have my hands up. We're not going to hurt you.
She probably needs water.
I'll grab my water skin and I'll go to pull the gag out and I'll just say, nothing funny, okay?
Her eyes narrow slightly.
Pull it out and I offer the water to her.
Her eyes narrow a little more.
I take a sip first and offer it back.
She will hesitantly and reluctantly take some water from the skin. I still narrowed on you specifically.
Are you gonna make that face the entire way?
She says nothing.
Fine then.
As you travel onwards a little, with Esther now conscious, you get a... So I must ask, from Sinclair, why do you all wish for a boon? Are you natives of Ansaya? Or do you come from elsewhere?
We come from all over.
What was that town that I'm from?
Keen?
I'm from that town.
Keen!
Keene, right? Keene Valley.
Yeah, you're
Question
from
marks. I'm from blank.
I'm from fill in answer here.
Looks at hand. I'm from...
I'm gonna say born and raised.
Damn it.
I've come quite a way. I'm from Lothankala. Jack, aren't you from there as well?
Same.
I'm not sure where I'm from.
Is Esther's mouth covered now? Did you cover her mouth back?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
Probably safer to say yes.
In case she bites us.
There are a lot of spells that only vocal components are necessary. So, Mara would say, we heard your monarch is very magnanimous. Who would not want a boon from her?
That is an interesting form of flattery.
Valentine perks up and just says, I've never met a monarch before, so I just want to meet a monarch. And I think that'd be cool. I'm not from here. I'm from a very small coastal village. From very far away. AKA, Leona doesn't actually know where her character's from, but it's somewhere small.
I just don't find much points in gold when all the things I need are in the forest.
And as you said, danger seems to follow this group, so having boons on standby can only help.
Boons on standby. That is an interesting turn of phrase. You seem to be quite an interesting group. As I say, Her Highness would be interested to meet you. She has quite a knack for investigating curious individuals.
As we passed the border, we didn't feel anything, right?
No. Eventually the humidity begins to fade away as you begin to exit from this strange magical forest desert that was going on, and continue your travel to the north. There is another small encampment as you continue. This one does not stop you. This one seems to be far more organized. This area seems to be incredibly heavily guarded. You immediately would see probably about 40 heavily armored individuals, all scattered around various different points, both inside and outside this fortification. You are allowed to travel straight around, not through it this time, but around. This seems to be a more rigid and solidly built fort, as Sinclair kind of pipes up and just, we are just passing by ends meet here. Should only be a few days from here until we get to Ansara. Are there any pieces of information you require from me before we continue on?
Do you like sea shanties?
Yes, and. Yes, and.
Yes, and.
The question kind of throws him off guard. You watch as his demeanor changes a little and just see, perhaps not. I'm more of a land person, but I have been known to partake in some antics when there is enough liquor on the table.
Oh, well, we'll save that for this evening whenever we camp. I was just thinking of some music to entertain us along the route. I know sea shanties, land shanties, all kinds of shanties.
Jacaranda just like makes her branches like sway a little bit to add like white noise.
This is
the extent of what I can do.
Oh.
Dawn says quietly, as if to herself, "Are there air shanties?"
Yes.
Airships, so there's air shanties. That's how it works.
This is fair.
I will certainly not say no to some entertainment as we continue our journey.
Excellent. Who knows how to play an instrument? I know how to sing. I just don't know how to play instruments.
Everyone suddenly looks
All
at their
eyes.
proficiencies.
Eyes for Namara.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, we have a bard. Yes, of course. Of course.
Wait, does
It's the
Sinclair-
swamp shanties you have to watch out for, Dawan. They can get dirty.
Those are my kind of shanties, says
Mara, are you still up front?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As Valentine says this, Sinclair just sighs for a moment and says, if you want to just go ahead and continue along the path, I will tell you when to turn if you would like to take the reins.
Sure, Mara has no idea what she's doing. She doesn't have vehicles. Try anything
Wagons
once,
was
though.
never a part of the bard training.
Right?
Make it till you make it.
Bards
And-
know a little bit about everything.
He will reach into the one small haversack he has on the side of his armor, and he'll go ahead and produce a small silver harmonica.
Valentine
Yeah, we'll go
is
ahead and pull out.
delighted. This is the best day ever for Valentine. This is so exciting. She's like, yes, at last we can sing songs, we can have entertainment, we'll make the journey go that much faster.
There's a small laugh that escapes his lips as he just looks towards you and just... An odd group indeed.
Look, I'm a wanderer. I wander a lot, and you need songs to get you from place to place. It helps. You like learning new ones along the way, too.
Marched a whole bunch. I will not disagree with you.
All I can hear in my head is a snap and a crack and away it goes.
Cinnamon slow.
Yeah, and while Mara is driving, when he starts playing, she like starts snapping the reins to accompany him because percussion's her main thing. So
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
no, the horses are like.
He'll slowly begin to play this this tune as the road suddenly gets a little bit bumpier as suddenly you just
I was gonna say Orin is on top of the wagon, like
Oh,
covered,
no.
like dancing. But if we're gonna start like really going,
you can
That'd be
definitely
awesome, though.
a mixture of songs are played along this time as Sinclair will go ahead and kind of produce some of the more common songs and shanties that are found in the area. Valentine, you can go ahead and sing yourself along. Actually, Valentine, make a performance check for me. I will say with
okay.
advantage because of Mara and Oren's.
Hooray!
And Jacaranda's as well.
Awesome.
An Airden hum harmony.
Yes!
yeah, I don't know what I'm doing to help. I'm just dancing,
That's great. I love
probably
it.
poorly.
I'm harmonizing.
That is a 16.
You're adding enthusiasm.
16. I would like the entire party to take a d6 inspiration. As you go ahead and sing the next couple of days away, you can go ahead and pretty much power through the rest of the journey, singing songs, relaxing, regaling tales. If there are any other conversations you would like to have on the way, now is your time before you reach Scythia.
yeah, we have to like feed Esther, so we'd harass her while I mean, ask her
Before-
questions.
At some point, while Sinclair is driving the cart, he can feel like sharp nails on his thigh, and Pestle is there. Just appeared one day.
I kind of is Ashtalora like sitting by Esther? Like, how much of a traitor is she?
She's in between you and her.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's the preferred answer. Can't believe you betray. You try to uncharm the cat. She's not charmed.
At some point, Jacaranda will want to talk to Orin and find out if he's ever had like visions or anything from the sisters.
Well, what do you mean by like visions?
Like, have you seen anything, or have they spoken to you? I'm curious how it all works, because I personally, I think of the sons as sons, as, you know, there they are, they're just there. But it sounds different how you experience it. So I'm just curious how you've come to know the sisters.
Well, when I was in training at the monastery, we were always taught to go and meditate under Saya's branches. And if you listen very carefully, you can almost hear her singing. And it's a beautiful song. It was a sad song. The myth was that she and her sister Kailara, were frozen because their youngest sister, Sispi, was taken to the fire plane. We learned that necessarily wasn't entirely true. It seems that the heroes of the stories I was told may not be all that heroic. Perhaps even a little villainous. So I'm not sure what to believe anymore. We've met the sisters. I was just in awe when we spoke to them. It was an insane experience. I never thought that we would find Kailara. I never thought that she would be a volcano. I never thought I'd travel to the fire plane to rescue Sispi, but hoy, by the hells.
You did all of that?
Well, me and Aridin and Ishtin and Joshua, Soup, Athnos.
Oh, wow. Much to think about.
I think, as far as visions, you didn't... I get dreams.
Oh, I do too.
And I feel like sometimes when I awake from the dreams, sometimes even when I'm just meditating, you awake and I feel like there's something deep within you, like you find a new truth inside of you. Whether it has actually existed or it's just me mind slowly unraveling, I'm not sure.
Well, either way, what we think is real, and it's true. So I hope it's good, what you think about.
Me too. I hope that the sisters got a bad rap. I'd like to think that they didn't willingly succumb to the core snake, but if they did...
A snake?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There's so much I don't know about this. This is really interesting. You know, I hear stuff too. Sometimes. Well, a lot of times. But I don't know if it's me or something else. So I just listen I just listen to it and then I make my own decisions based on not necessarily what they say, but what I think is the best interpretation of what they say.
And who's they?
I don't really know. They just talk a lot.
Well, you're a cleric, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a god, a patron?
Oh, it's just the suns. It's just the sun that gives life.
See, I feel like the sisters were trying to go the direction that you've gone in, but somehow got lost. They were drawing power from each of the suns, and perhaps something happened where they had to make a deal with the devil, as they say. And just made a bad choice. That's what I hope for, anyway.
Well, I hope that all gets figured out.
I think it will.
There's enough suns for the both of us if it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Valentine. As as all of this is going on, you get an interesting feeling come over you. You feel a sudden sense of I guess something drawing you towards something. It's murky, it's difficult to tell. You feel like something is trying to pull at you, trying to guide you, but to what degree you're unsure. It's a little strange, it's very weak, but you just get that slight feeling of just something more, a different presence around you, just for a moment. It swiftly then begins to fade.
You see kind of Valentine like look around very curiously, and she kind of goes, okay.
Everything all right, Valentine?
I think everything's fine. I just I don't know. That was kind of strange. I've never You're a cleric. Do your deities ever call to you?
If the wind blowing through the trees is as much of a call, or sunshine warming your skin.
That's fair. That's reasonable. I suppose I can relate to that. I don't know. It was very weird. I felt like something was calling me. Just for a second.
Did you feel like a voice was calling you or a presence?
I think it was a presence. It was like I was being pulled in a direction. It was like I need to go there. I don't know where there is.
Have you tried spinning in a circle?
No. And she'll like stick an arm out as if she's like a ginormous Leonin compass, and she will start turning in a circle.
It's a divine divining rod.
Have you tried reading your cards?
Not Yeah, I could do that too. Does turning get me anywhere, or do I just turn in one big circle?
Turn in a big old circle.
Well, okay. Let's go back to the old standby then, shall we? And she pulls out her card.
While she's doing this, at some point in the journey, Mara, when everyone else is occupied, Mara would go up to Esther and she would whisper in her ear, "Your sister is no more. If you cause the death of the one that stands in her place, I will end you."
And there is no response, but the eyes certainly do narrow.
Don't make Mara mad.
What did you pull, Valentine?
9 of Swords.
9 of Swords.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nasty card.
That's a nasty card. She's a very sad human being on this card, next to a ghostly bed.
It's kind of like no reprieve, being attacked from all sides, or you've thought yourself into a hole.
Mhm.
Yeah.
10 of Swords is rock bottom. 9 of Swords is approaching rock bottom.
Yeah, she'll kind of look and then she'll go, okay, maybe we won't listen to the voice inside my head just yet.
I was gonna say, is Mara still at the front of the cart?
On and off. This is like, for like day 2, 3, whatever.
Because Aridin would just come and like sit next to you.
Cool.
Yeah.
She would say, "So, this is a lot."
Do you regret it?
No.
You can't say you're bored.
So true. So true. And I'm very intrigued. Disappearing people is a thing. That's a thing.
There's just, I feel like in the short amount of time that this all started, there's so many threads that I'm not sure how they connect yet.
You don't think the thing that Warren is carrying is causing the disappearing? I don't know where that was in the timeline of disappearing people. You found this thing.
Before, I would think, I don't know how, I think Warren's had it for a while, but I know Jotra was trying to figure out what it does. Didn't get very far with that.
I mean, didn't he kind of disappear? When he was
Not
using
related.
it? No, okay.
No. We actually got in a fight with other Luna Cerritas. Sort of activated a "don't take me alive" sort of thing. It was gonna cause there was just like this energy vacuum almost, and Jotra went to stop it.
Well, hopefully he's not with the Kruthic and the Kruthic worm. We really need to come up with a name for that. Catherm? Wormic?
Oh god.
Wormthick.
Wormthick. No. No. No.
It's like dummy thick, but wormy.
Wormthick.
No.
I hate it. No.
Awful.
No. Vetoed. Jesse, you're grounded.
Absolutely not.
I'm still gonna
I was
call it
right there with
Wormthick.
Why do y'all do this to me?
You're the one that gave us a hybrid worm Kruthic. Come on.
Yeah, you did it to yourself, honestly.
Yeah, if you don't want us to do this, you need to come up with a name for it.
I'm partial to Krurb.
Worm.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
But yes, I hope he did not end up wherever they were sent.
Me too. I've tried sending him messages, but haven't gotten anything in return. So I just hope he's okay.
Is it bad that I feel bad for your sister?
No.
I mean, she lost her sister, and these not very nice people are brainwashing her.
I've had dreams of before and the training that we went through. It's brutal. You are trained, at least from what I saw, to not feel anything. They want you to follow orders without question.
Well, she's awful at it. She definitely feels.
I hope she has a change of heart.
I didn't say they were good feelings.
I know.
I don't know what's gonna break their hold on her.
I don't know either. I was sort of hoping that being away from them and seeing something else would at least start to show that there's another way, that it doesn't have to be what the Lunas Cerritos have taught her. But I don't know.
We just have too much other things to deal with. We're gonna have to leave her with the queen. Hopefully we can convince her not to permanently harm her.
I don't want anything bad to happen to her.
Yeah, I can understand that. But if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think she'd feel the same.
Probably not. I feel like sometimes people just need someone to believe in them. Sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not. That's up to them. But I think everyone deserves that chance.
Is your bond to Astrolora broken?
No.
Well, that's a positive.
Why? I mean, yes, that's good, but did you think it was broken?
Well, usually she's on your shoulder and around you, and she hasn't been for the last few days. So I was afraid maybe.
She's my familiar, but I think she's been mine for a while. Before I lost my memories and all that. So I think she remembers Esther. I don't know.
Do you think Esther has a familiar? As Mara starts looking around, it's like, great. Is there some mystical familiar stalking us?
And as you look behind you, no, I'm kidding.
A giant spider. What?
A werebear.
Why is it always bugs?
I swear to God.
Oh, no. No familiars. No familiars. Yeah. She seems pissed. But that's about it. He's just lying there.
Esther?
Angry. Yeah, staring daggers at all of you. As Ashlora is kind of awkwardly nestled between both you and her.
Are all of these conversations happening simultaneously or just kind of over the few days so like we could hear the other conversations that are going on as well?
Yeah, it would be over a few days, so you would probably be
I feel
hearing
like-
everything being said here.
Okay. So when Aridin mentions that Ashlora has been her familiar for a while, Jacaranda wants to mention, well, it seems that at least you have something in your life that accepts you. It accepted you then and it accepts you now. That you've become someone different. Someone from before that's still with you and obviously cares for you.
Somehow that thought hadn't really occurred to me.
Besides, Ashlar is a great judge of people.
Glares at my cat. Currently sitting at Esther's feet like a traitor. She is most of the time. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
So tell me about this black powder.
We did. Hang on, it's been a while. I know we tried like either identify or it was identify.
It
and
tastes
it was,
fucking awful.
There's that. But we
What
also-
if it was people? You just ate it?
I don't know why I did it. It was a mistake.
We told him that afterwards. No, we did an identify spell on it. It was just magic residue. It was the after effect of the spell.
So it's definitely a powerful spell
Mm-hmm.
that can just make people just disappear. Great.
We have it in a vial somewhere, don't we?
You did take
Actually,
a
yeah.
small sample, but you did leave it with Blink.
No, did we really? Why did we leave it with Blake? God.
Because Blink was the person who you thought would be able to figure out what it is on a material level, and then left it with her.
Yeah, because Blink is much smarter than us, so he's the real answer there.
Oh no. Did we get, when we cast, I think it was identify. I said it was identify, but I can't really actually remember. Did we get could we get a school of magic off it?
I
don't remember. It was a while ago.
It would be... Give me a hot second. Did it? It would be Conjuration. But it would not be pure Conjuration. it would have felt tainted. Not purely arcane.
So in my
Now tainted
notes,
love is
put it-
running through my head.
in my notes, I'm putting black powder, conjuration to the left. Not quite conjuration. Okay. Yeah, it was magical residue, and it was a conjuration spell with something else that couldn't quite be placed. That's about all we know, really.
Okay, so I'm not too familiar with the different types of magic because songs are how I do my magic. So conjuration is that like you're bringing something into existence?
Yes.
So basically calling to something?
Conjuring it. But it was also mixed with something else.
And wizards don't tend to mix spells. That's more of a sorcery type thing.
We can learn different schools of magic. It's that the spell itself wasn't just one type. It was... I don't even know how to explain it. It was a crafted spell.
Can wizards work together in a way that their magic would like feel like each other's, like cause the kind of twisting that you felt?
I mean, probably. My guess would be that the spell was created through study and experimentation before getting to where it's at.
So your sister seems really powerful. Yes, she's jumped around.
This is just turning into an interrogation.
So I'm guessing you were with the Luna Cerritos for a long, long time then. I mean, she doesn't seem that old, right? Esther doesn't seem that old.
No, Esther looks to be about the same age as Aridin is.
Which...
So likely
exactly the same age?
You're
You
just
don't
as
know.
powerful.
Hmm?
So likely if you could remember, you would be just as powerful.
Maybe. I don't know.
But likely you would be just as much of a bitch as she glares at Esther.
I don't know. Probably cold.
But she's not good at being cold. That is red hot anger right there. If they tried to take her emotions, they did not do a good job at it at all. I mean, her emotions tends towards the anger side of things. They may have taken love from her, but love's just the other side of hate. So there's a whole lot of emotion there.
Dawan pipes up, don't forget she was crying.
That's the trauma, baby.
And I think it's probably about now that you get a tap against the wood from Sinclair as coming up a short incline upon the horizon, you now see a large mass of structures. The entire city you see before you is incredibly well fortified. Large ivory stone walls encompass the entire area, with a secondary tier inside, multiple towers in the innermost section, along with what appears to be some kind of incredibly finely decorated palace / castle of sorts. The entire area is spattered with sections of pink and yellow and green as these large trellises have begun to grow all the way up the walls. As you begin to approach, these trellises dwarf all of you as they stretch up across the entirety of these fortifications. You see before you the capital city of Ansaya. You see Scythia in all of its radiant glory. As you're coming over, it's probably turning kind of dusky at this point. You watch as one by one these small points of red, blue, silver, and gold begin to spatter like a paintbrush just flicked onto a canvas of all of these lights that begin covering the city, illuminating both the ground and the area around it. Scythia becomes a beacon in the night, drawing those weary travelers in for, hopefully, a comfortable rest. As this comes over the horizon, you hear a different kind of sigh come from Sinclair. You hear a more comfortable, more familiar and whimsical sigh as he just, there it is. What an absolute beauty. Still gets me, even to this day. Better grab your gear. It's only going to be a few more minutes before we get ourselves into the city. I will talk to one of the gate guards about our friend here and see what I can get done. I've been away for a while. I need to catch up. Onwards. He nods towards all of you as the wagon carries on forwards. The city itself is massive, covers an incredible amount of ground. You definitely realize you're probably going to need to pick up a map at some point, as these large collections of buildings are just scattered as you reach the gate itself. The area is tight and compact, and you can see that the buildings are incredibly mishmashed considering how beautiful the outside is. You see a collection of beautifully crafted buildings, all made in completely different styles. You see different heritages and different design philosophies all being melded together into this wonderful cacophony of art and color. As the gates open and allow you passage, having seen Sinclair on the front, he immediately jumps down, going underneath the portcullis as it begins to rise. The area, even though it is almost nighttime, it is bustling with individuals all going about their day to day. And you see a wide mixture of different individuals, ages, heritages, etc. You find yourself brought just a little while forwards before Sinclair turns towards you. All right, we will have to go ahead and give the wagon back, if you please. Let me just go and have a conversation with one of the guardsmen here. He nods towards you as he begins to step away. You find yourself surrounded by all of these different colors that are emanating from the buildings around you. The area seems, perhaps to some of you, comforting, to others, perhaps overwhelming with the amount of individuals here. There is a brief pause as you all step out before Sinclair reapproaches you. His face is a little scrunched. There has been a change of plan.
Oh.
You have an invitation.
What kind of invitation?
He kind of looks towards you all and begins to eye across kind of yourselves and your gear and tuts and just, no, this will not do. This will not do. You will have to come with me immediately.
Do we get to know what we're invited to?
He rolls his eyes as he turns back towards you. Her Highness is currently holding a party to improve morale of both the city and the surrounding regions. You have an invitation.
Well, lead on.
Wait, but a party full of people and talking?
A ball, yes.
How exciting!
And dancing?
Could be
Trust me, you do not have to do any of those things if you don't want to. You could stand somewhere. There might be animals or plants or food, probably.
Plants and food and animals are all good.
I will say, though, however, that you're going to need different outfits, so please follow me.
Looking down at the same outfit.
Party montage! Shopping montage!
Shopping montage.
Shopping montage! I can't wait to hear describe what they look like for science.
We all come out in horrible costumes and then try on other ones.
You are all brought down.
Speak for yourself. Mara comes out looking spectacular.
I feel like the first thing Aridin tries on gets caught on her horns. It's just like trying to untangle herself.
Dawn puts on like a cat kigurumi.
And then Mara's like, okay, change. I imagine she's like dressing them all. She's like, no. Oh, this'll work.
Good. Aridin's gonna need all the help she can get. Aridin doesn't know anything.
Mara has noble background.
Jacaranda doesn't normally wear clothes.
Yes. She's gonna draw for Jacaranda. Okay, I need
Her first piece of clothing was that robe with that.
to look like this.
I really liked the idea of like the I don't remember like how it was
lead?
tied. You had like some sort of like top, but it was just like
Yeah,
tied.
it's like rope, like a mesh, like tree of life, like tied of hemp rope.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't necessarily call it clothing, because since it's
No,
not.
it-
Maybe?
I
It's
mean,
like
for a plant
fully
person,
mesh.
it's probably fine.
Yeah. Otherwise, it could be pretty risque.
Listen, crochet bikinis and mesh shirts are clothing. So
Oh, it's like
absolutely.
wide mesh. It's not like tight mesh.
Wide mesh fishnet stockings exist. So
it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
A queen might raise some eyebrows to start out with, but
Scandalous.
I feel like every outfit that Oren puts on, like, he's not wearing shoes at all, like every single time. And Mara's just like, no, you have to wear shoes. So he comes out finally, and he's like walking very stiffly, and it's like Agador in the birdcage, where he's just like, I can't wear shoes.
Where you're more like sliding the feet rather than stepping.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I love it. I love that for you.
So, you are swiftly led by Sinclair down a leftmost path, and it's probably a solid, 20-minute walk as you're heading through the streets. The streets of Scythia, as I say, this city is huge. You barely even scratch the surface of the area before you are turned into a relatively small alleyway. You see sticking out like a sore thumb a purple, pink, and green colored building, which is marked Delilah's Delights. And Sinclair begins taking you forwards and essentially beckons towards the store and just says, we will be going ahead and heading in here. Delilah has been working on some of the Queen's outfits herself. As he opens up the door for you all to step inside. Takes but a moment before your eyes are assaulted by the brightest purples you have ever seen. This area is incredibly harshly colored. Purples and pinks and greens all spread across this room. None of the colors really fitting with each other in a palette. It's very stark and definitely kind of just deliberately strewn around. You see a rather large dragonborn lady in this beautiful red silk robe/dress. It's more of a kind of a casual dress. Currently sewing this beautiful silvery garb. And as she steps, as you all step inside, she looks up. Just, look, I told you we closed a couple of hours ago. Oh, Sinclair, honey. You didn't tell me you were arriving today. You watch as Sinclair stiffens up a little bit and just, yes, hello, Delilah. We have friends here. They require new outfits. This will be going on the castle's tab. He awkwardly shuffles in place as his eyes kind of dart around the room a little bit uncomfortably. Delilah, still needle in hand, lifted up a little bit. Ah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Her eyes turn now to meet you all and look at these marvelous canvases you've given me. Oh my lord, you're all gorgeous. Oh, where are my manners? She puts the needle down and quite literally vaults over the front counter, and as she lands, brushes herself off a little bit, just, apologies, sticks a hand out. Delilah, at your service. The surname's not important.
Aridin and Dawan standing in the back, just like.
Dawan's like downy fuzz is standing right on end. She's just like.
Mara walks up and it's like, Delilah, I have to tell you something. I am a hugger. Are you a hugger?
Yes.
Pauses for a moment and I suppose in this dress it's okay, and comes forwards and gives you a hug. It's a pretty solid hug. She goes ahead and lets go. She looks towards you all. So, one moment. Sinclair, honey, is this for our particular event tonight? Sinclair kind of awkwardly grits his teeth and nods. Wonderful. Well, I've just the thing. Here, and she'll take a couple of steps to the right, where you see a beautiful mahogany wardrobe. Sits about 3 foot tall and probably a solid 2 foot wide. It's a rather large wardrobe. Very tall. She gestures towards it a little flamboyantly. This is my pièce de résistance. My wardrobe of wearable wonders. Go ahead, step inside. See what you can find. It's going to
Mara
be
is there.
wonderful.
Valentine is right behind her.
Mara and Valentine swooped, vault over to the
Jacaranda's
wardrobe.
a little bit nervous. Is this made for, like, will I be okay? Is this like a person thing, or?
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
Don't you worry about it.
I feel like Aridin looks at Orin and is like, is there something wrong with how we're dressed?
I've worn the same gi, well, at least variations of the same gi for the last 15 years. So this is weird.
Are we?
Oh, but I assure you, darlings, that it looks, fine. It's just that, this particular situation requires a more delicate touch. More pristine touch.
Oh, yeah, this is gonna be weird. I'm just very used to wearing me own clothes.
Do you want us all to go into the wardrobe at once, or should we take turns?
Oh, no, you can all fit in. Don't you worry. Oh, make sure to grab masks. It is a masquerade ball, after all.
Ooh.
Ooh. I've just realized the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe.
That's amazing.
The lion, the witch, in the wardrobe.
The lion witch in the wardrobe.
In the wardrobe, yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm a little too proud of that.
So, is everyone stepping inside?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have no reason not to.
As you step inside, you find yourselves in a
Jesse's
sparkling...
face. That was
I'm just-
not a yes.
I'm just everyone's filing into this wardrobe, and Dawn's just like, I'm uncomfortable.
I imagine like looking towards the back of it, like kind of how like cats will like inspect around. The
Yeah,
thing
she's just
before
like-
they go into it.
Love it.
Oh boy.
Do you all take a step up into the wardrobe? You notice the back panel just completely disappear. You find yourself stepping into an infinite, sparkling plane of baby pink. You step inside and your footsteps seem to echo around this infinitely expanding space. And if any of you have seen The Matrix, this is probably going to be the best way to compare it. As in The Matrix, there is a sudden noise as an infinite row of weaponry kind of spawns in around them and just carries on and on and on. Exactly the same, but with clothes.
Oh my.
Racks upon racks upon racks of dresses, shirts,
Racks on
trousers. Damn it.
All I hear right now is Rack City.
Damn it! I need to watch my word choices around y'all, clearly. Can't be trusted.
Bold of you to assume that there's like word choices you could make where like a pun or a song will not come up though.
True.
First mistake.
True. As this slightly magical sound continues, shirts, dresses, vests, trousers, shoes, masks, hats, just rows upon rows upon rows of so many variations of outfits. You can go ahead and dig around and find what you would like to wear. And I think that's an interesting time for y'all to go ahead and show me your homework and to let the people know what y'all's formal dress is that you've picked out. Gonna start with the first person I have. So, Mara, what is your formal wear?
Is wearing a midnight blue dress. Very much like fancy 50s style. It's embroidered like with heavy fabric. Like, so if she wanted to hide things under it, you wouldn't be able to see them. Like weapons. And then she has on a tiara, which I have a tiara here. Ta-da!
Hell yeah!
And that's what Mara's wearing.
Awesome. Valentine, what's your formal wear?
Ooh, okay. So Valentine's dress is black, but with a white like underlay, and on the black there's these silver like suns and moons and stars. So it's a very celestial like kind of ball gown dress thing. And you can see she's delighted with it, and she'll put her hair up, and she'll put like some pretty flowers in her hair, and she'll probably put like a little like star brooch on the other side, and she'll obviously still have her broom with her because she never goes anywhere without her broom. Always has her broom, even at a party. But she gets cleaned up pretty nicely. She's got little high heels on and everything. Little,
I like
whatever.
to imagine she ties a bow on her broom.
Yes, absolutely. There is a matching fabric, same as the dress with little stars and moons on it. A little bow on the broom. This is a very important detail. Thank you for bringing that up.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh, amazing.
She's like witchy but pretty.
yeah, absolutely. It's thematic.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Dewan, what is your formal dress?
Unmute. Dawn's formal dress is a very minimalist but clean and structured white blouse. It has a boat neck with a little bit of a slit, and I don't know what you call it, but when you have the swoop, the bat wings for your sleeves. She's got like bat wing sleeves, but it's a white blouse, and sleeves go up to like here. Boop. And for her bottom, she's wearing a sarong that's just wrapped and tied very nicely, and some platform boots. What? Just flats. My brain. All the colors in the sarong are very muted. Tans and beige and greens and some blues, decorated with batik patterns. And so it's very simple and understated and won't stand out, but looks very clean and put together. And she has chosen a gold and white Venetian cat mask.
Ooh la la.
Because of course.
I love it. Awesome. Jacaranda, it is your turn. Jacaranda panics.
So Jacaranda looks through everything and she kind of doesn't necessarily find anything that speaks to her. So what she ends up doing is she druid crafts some of her own leaves and attaches them onto a full lace. It looks like it's like a lacing that goes over something, but instead she druid crafts her leaves onto it, and it's going to be like a the top, instead of like a sweetheart top, it comes to points, and then it's just leaves all over the top, and then around the bottom it looks like leaves have fallen around her feet. And then her mask looks like moss, and then it has more leaves on top with like a little butterfly on it.
Beautiful. I love it.
Oh,
Fantastic.
for Mara's mask, she is going to wait for Aridin to choose a mask, and then she's going to choose a matching mask.
Love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Any thought to the mask, Valentine?
Ooh, yes, I found a celestial, like galaxy-looking mask. It's got these cat ears and whiskers on it, but it's also got these funky eyelashes on it too. So it's a very like fancy, very fancy celestial cat mask.
Nice. Awesome. Love it. Alrighty. Aridin, your formal dress.
Would help if I unmuted. So she's wearing this like muted dark purple dress, and it's strapless, and it's I don't know what to call like this neckline.
Plunging?
Is this the heart? Is that the
Sweetheart?
Sweetheart neckline, and the bottom, the dress part is it flares out. I'm not very good at describing clothes. There is a tie around the waist. She has her hair done in a fishtail braid that comes down over the shoulder. And I actually found, let me see if I can. Nope. Okay, I can find the picture. She chose a more simple white mask, and it's got like gold filigree and a centerpiece on the forehead. I'm actually gonna send this to Rochelle because there's like a.
Post it in our Discord. Oh, okay.
Posted it in Zoom instead.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yep. She
Like
would have
matching.
worn the matching mask. Yep.
Wonderful. Alrighty, and that leaves us with Oren.
Right. Oren is going to pick something kind of similar to what he's wearing, just fancier. It is like a red gi style that actually ends with black gloves. Around his waist is like a silver belt, and over the gi is like a drapery that sticks out, flares out at the shoulders and comes down, and that's black, and it has these like red bands that kind of come around. It comes down and then up the shoulders, back around, and then hangs down like about to his like mid shin. It's very Mortal Kombat. Actually, imagine like Ermac from Deadly Alliance, if you know the reference. That's what I stole, and I photoshopped Oren's head on it, if anyone can see.
I love that so much.
So good.
But for the mask, he's going to have a red, like wooden tree that like comes up the forehead, like the trunk comes up the forehead here and then extends out into the branches that come about like probably a good 6-7 inches off the top of his head. And then the roots come down and form the like actual mask that covers the eyes, but you can still see through it.
He just wants to feel taller.
Yeah. That's why he spikes his hair.
I love that. Oh
I
no. I love
All
Orin.
of these descriptions.
I love everybody. So
Wonderful. Yeah, as you kind of think of these outfits and imagine them kind of like in your mind as they begin to kind of take shape, you find yourself drawn to something on the hanger. As you pick it up off the hanger, the outfit just vanishes entirely. And as you take a look at yourselves, you see this pink kind of glittery mist begin to envelop you for just a moment and then disperse as the outfit just appears on your body. No changing needed in the wardrobe of wearable wonders.
She's a fairy dragon mother. I knew it.
Great.
Fairy dragon mother.
As you find yourselves now decorated in your full outfits, Sinclair begrudgingly will also have to step inside because he will have to be on duty. So he will go ahead and just grab a basic black tuxedo with a black tie and a basic mask because this isn't his thing. And he looks incredibly uncomfortable.
Dawan takes his basic mask and gives him the most embellished mask she can find. Because if she has to dress up out of her comfort zone, he needs to dress up out of his.
I like to imagine her claws come out when she tells him this.
I love Dawan so much. An actual cat friend.
If this means you will go to the ball, I am obligated to oblige.
Hands him the mask. It's bejeweled. It's hot pink. It sparkles. It's awful.
Thank you very much for your assistance in this matter.
It's got things on it that move and go around.
When he dances very quickly, it whistles.
He grits his teeth and bares it as he's staring at this mask, just staring it down, almost as if he's ready to kind of like, he is ready to do battle with this mask at this point, as he goes ahead and just kind of places it in his kind of like tuxedo pocket. All right. Well, with that business out of the way, shall we go ahead and make our way onwards?
So are we gonna have like rooms at the palace? 'Cause I assume you don't want us carrying the weapons into the ball.
You are permitted to remain armed if you wish.
Okay.
The Queen has designated you VIPs. Her interests
Jacaranda's in the club.
Like, I'm officially very important.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's a coat check where I could store the kits.
The kids.
Yeah, he just nods and just her interests are very moving on. Are you ready to depart?
Yes, when does this start? Has it already started and we're late?
Everyone appears whenever they wish to appear. It's a ball. More of a come and go kind of thing. It will take us a while to walk up there, so we should be right in the middle of it by the time we arrive. He nods and begins to lead you out of the wardrobe of wearable wonders.
That still didn't answer my question about having a place to stay. Something will be organized, one way or another. I cannot tell you what, because I am not her, so I will have a discussion. And that is all I can really promise at this point in time. He will go ahead and, as I say, lead you out of this room. Delilah is kind of sat, one hand leaning against the counter, and just, oh my, clean up well, don't you? Does a little fingertip wave towards Sinclair, and then looks towards the rest of you. Oh, I told you. Perfect canvases. Look at you all. You are all gorgeous. I do hope you have a fantastic time.
Oh, thank you very much. It's quite an experience as Oren robotically moves forward because he's not used to wearing shoes at all. Just
You need to look like you've crapped yourself, darling.
it's these shoes. I feel like I'm going to fall constantly.
It's all right. I'm sure you'll break them in on the dance floor, dear.
They may
Jacaranda
as well
is
have
not wearing
wheels.
shoes.
Yeah.
She's just very quiet as Oren's talking about his shoes.
Yeah, no, Dawan's gonna kick her shoes off as soon as they leave the store.
This is the no shoe party, apparently.
As we're leaving the
Bring shoes.
Oren's gonna see it and be like, is that an option? Can we do that?
No, you cannot.
If we get into a scrap, I'm kicking these fuckers off real fast.
They're just
You could use them as throwing
projectiles.
things. Yeah, projectiles.
I would like to use flurry of blows to launch
will
my shoes
cast-
at someone.
I will cast Saya's Touch on my feet and launch flaming shoes at somebody.
Okay, so
I was
have
gonna
to
say,
have a
can you
little
picture
story.
like a roundhouse kick and the shoes come off?
One of the first TTRPGs I ever played was a superhero TTRPG, and my character didn't have any ranged attacks. So she would take off her stiletto heels and chuck them.
That's awesome.
Hey, stilettos
do
are
damage.
dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Stilettos are dangerous.
That's not a shoe, it's a shuriken.
Someone stepped on my foot once when I was out, and my foot hurt for a long time afterward.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Real.
Yeah, I've had the same experience.
Not
But also,
not a good time.
wearing stilettos are awful.
I can't wear high heels.
I will not. I will not.
I would also rather be barefoot.
I made the mistake, and I have since learned never to wear stilettos. Wedge heels for the win.
Wedge is life. Yes.
That's probably the closest I can get, and even then it's probably like an inch, maybe. As Oren's walking, I feel like Airden would walk up next to him and link their arms and help him keep balance.
Thank you, love.
Isn't he like 2 foot? Aren't you like bent in half?
3 foot. So she's reaching down just a little, and I'm like this. It's like helping a small child.
Affection.
Tall and small.
Yeah. Maybe it's not linking elbows, she's just holding my hand.
Yeah.
Is Ashtalora following us, or did she stay with Esther?
No, Ashtora's followed you.
Is Ashtalora wearing a
Follow.
mask?
I mean, unless Eridan has specifically done that.
Is Ashtalora dressed up?
I feel like Ashtalora has a cute, like, I'm picturing, like a really cute bow, like a princess bow.
In the same color as your dress?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course. I don't think she would tolerate a mask.
All right. I can dig that. I can dig that. All right.
Got a cute little bow. She's all dressed up. She's got princess paws as she walks.
Oh.
You know the
Ashtarora's a
walk.
good
You know
cat
the
to
walk.
even wear a
the little
bow.
trot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to walk too long before Sinclair calls you a carriage to bring you all up to the castle, especially considering it's going to be a bit of a trek. The castle itself is probably about an hour and a half away from your location. This city is massive. I will say it again. Yeah, it's probably a solid hour and a half. And the further you get away from the entrance and towards the castle, the more sophisticated the outfits become as you begin to see individuals either approaching the ball or moving away from the ball. You begin to see more kind of aesthetically pleasing outfits as you continue onwards from various different styles and various different areas of both the continent and the world in general. You find yourselves coming up to what appears to be a beautiful white gold castle. The entire thing is definitely more decorative than functional, though there are 4 towers surrounding the area. The majority of it is covered either in this white gold glow or in similar trellises to the walls that you've already seen. Plants and flowers decorating the entire area. You step forward through the gates into a large open garden area mixed with various different trees and planters of plants from across the realms. This area is huge, and many guests currently fill its area. As Sinclair continues to escort you forwards, you see heads begin to turn, small whispers shared between individuals as attention is slowly being drawn to your party, both by your fantastic looks and by your escort, as these whispers start turning into small conversations. You can see pockets of gatherings here and there as you approach this large castle. The doors are already propped open, and it immediately opens up into a large, welcoming hall. The entire area is gorgeous. Beautiful gold and silver inlays surround the edges of these walls. The area is covered in various different kinds of art, anything from paintings to cartography to statues across this area. Multiple plush red and purple seats strewn across the area. And as you kind of step into this welcoming area, you can immediately see the large silver and crystalline ballroom which stands before you. The area almost seems to radiate light as you can see many individuals inside dancing. The smell of fine wines begins to overcome your senses as you can hear what seems to be an orchestra inside, accompanying the dancers through the night. You all step in, one by one, and find yourselves, it appears, the talk of the ballroom, as people certainly notice when you walk inside. Again, people begin to murmur, whispers, compliments mostly, but also curiosity. So you begin to take a look around. You are approached.
So, Mara is taking a look around, like a serious look around, as everyone as we're coming in. Does she feel any insidious intention from any group or particular person?
You could go ahead and roll an insight check if you'd like.
I would love to.
I want to use Sixth Sense as well, just to do a vibe check.
Dirty 20?
Okay. It's the same answer for both of you, really. There are people who are better than some. There are some people who are neutral, but all in all, there's no like particularly evil presence here. There's no one that seems to be conniving or manipulating. Just, yeah, nothing particularly catches you off guard, so to speak.
Okay.
It only takes a few moments before you are approached by an individual in a beautiful white gold gown. She is elvish, looks quite young, beautiful platinum blonde hair, which seems to trail almost down to her waist. She walks with a sense of poise and elegance, and a bit of a flair for the dramatic. As she slowly approaches you, you see individuals around her beginning to bow. She doesn't seem to be too regally dressed. The bowing, perhaps the most obvious indicator of her stance and her I'm trying to think of the word, and it's just completely status. There we go. Just completely left my mind there. The only indicator of her real status as she approaches you. There is immediately individuals around you that begin to fall silent as she looks upon all of you. And you just see a warm, beaming smile come across her face.
Mara would do an appropriate bow.
Airden would copy that.
Jacaranda
follows
also, is trying to copy, but bowing's kind of weird. Like,
Dawn also bows.
So you are the ones that I've been hearing so much about. It's a pleasure to finally see you all. Greetings. I am I'm Queen Elowen Sahandria of Ansara. It is an interesting pleasure to meet your acquaintance. You notice as well, she appears to be the only one without a mask at this ball. Although she does have quite a... It's a tame but still elegant headdress that seems to just cover around the top.
Do we know how long she's been queen?
Yeah, that's kind of common knowledge. Elowen has only been queen for probably the last 20 years. Which in elf time is not a lot at all. As she is a pureblood elf.
But more than half of Mara's life.
If you were to look at her and just judge based off of like appearance, you would probably say she's around the 200 mark. Which is still very much like just out of teenage years for most elves. So
That's the slip up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
yes.
And Mara would say, Mara Katani, Bard of Chaos, and let me introduce my fellows. Then she would introduce everyone.
She smiles and makes sure to individually nod and kind of place her hand out for each of you as a greeting. Making sure to directly stand in front of you so that the only eye contact she can have is with you. You see these beautiful blue-white eyes staring back as there is a general sense of warmth and kindness that surrounds her. She takes care to speak with you all, and as Mara is introducing everyone, she sticks her hand out. She says, I understand that some of you aren't from here. If there is a more appropriate greeting I can give you, then please let me know.
Mara gets a twinkle in her eye. Well, Your Majesty, I'm a hugger. Can I have a hug?
Stop it!
I feel like as we are so used to Mara, like even though we're so used to Mara and her hugging, Dawan's eyes would go wide.
The pupil gets so small. Dun, dun, dun.
The hair on the back of her neck starts standing up a little bit.
As much as I appreciate the offer, I unfortunately am going to have to decline on this instance, mainly on account of me not really knowing who you are. Thank you anyway, though. I appreciate it. Moving on. She kind of clears her throat and like readjusts her little headdress as she kind of it's one of those kind of like floral headdresses that kind of just spans outwards a little bit, but it's subtle enough that it's not too flamboyant, let's say.
Yes, she flustered the queen.
I
Love that was a goal.
yeah.
She did say yes, however, got it.
Yeah. I'm glad you got your invitations. I'm sorry to hear about the trials and tribulations you and your group have gone through. I've been hearing certain things coming back from here, there, and everywhere. But I'm glad you got here safe, although I'm not entirely surprised. The fates foretold that you would get here safe and sound.
The fates.
Indeed. I tend to make sure to draw cards in order to make sure that the fates are smiling.
You just hear the biggest noise of excitement from Valentine. It is like embarrassingly loud. Like she is freaking out right now.
Are you all right there?
Well, Your Majesty, I'm just very excited because well, I draw cards too.
I see. Kindred spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go on then.
Okay. And she immediately pulls out her cards and starts shuffling and shuffling and shuffling and shuffling. And then she pulls out a card and she goes, oh, how beautiful. It's the moon. As radiant and lovely as you are.
Flattery will get you everywhere. I appreciate another diviner of the arts. It's always good to check in and make sure that things aren't going to go awry. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Good sign.
And so then Jacaranda asks, Can I pull one?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll pull one from mine.
Yay!
We are a party of tarot readers.
That's awesome.
Oh, the tarot.
I love it.
So mine is the tower.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Oof.
That does not look good.
Doesn't sound good.
Tower means sudden change.
It's very pretty though.
It is.
Getting
It's a,
the rug
Oh,
pulled
yeah, the
out from
card
under you.
itself is gorgeous.
Yeah.
it's a forest tower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nature. You just see
Sudden
Valentine
change.
go off. Yeah, sudden change. Nature.
And now we hear the DM taking notes.
Mara would go. Speaking.
Why would
of-
I do DM prep when I could just have tarot cards do it for me?
Just do everything.
Just let us pull all the
Mara-
cards.
Would go. Speaking of troubles, I don't mean to put a damper on your party here. But we have many things to discuss. Mara's all business. She wouldn't give me a hug. Screw you. We're talking business now.
I see. Well, I do have a few more guests to meet and attend to, but I'm more than happy to speak with you about your current endeavors. Perhaps reconvene in an hour? Wonderful.
Sounds good.
Come and find one of the guards stationed around the room. They'll be able to lead you to me. I'm sure you understand I will have to keep a couple around just in case, though. After all, yes, you have done good things, but I still must be careful, just in case.
Understood.
Of course.
Wonderful. Well, the band is striking up some wonderful tunes. There are food, refreshments, the garden up front, and again, words just leaving my mind. The stargazing area off to the side, if you wish to head in that direction. For now, though, I will bid you adieu.
Pleasure
She
to
does
meet
a
you.
small curtsy in place. I will see you soon. She begins to step away.
Is anyone else feeling anxious?
Overwhelmed?
I've never met a queen before.
I
Fuck,
don't
I've
think
never
I
been
have.
dressed like this before.
Awesome.
What does anxious feel like or overwhelmed?
Anxious is on edge.
You know the feeling right before a storm starts? That feeling.
Like kind of like, and then she makes like the bees like come out, and it's like just like bees buzzing.
That would
Yes.
be
Yeah. That.
No, I don't feel that right now. I think this is different, but it's interesting and it feels good. Feels nice.
Well, is there anything you'd like to see, Jacaranda, while we're here in this huge palace?
Are there any plants in
There's
here?
a garden.
There's a garden
outside.
outside?
Yeah, there's the garden outside that you've already stepped through. Kind of like this large open garden area. There are also plants inside of the building itself. It seems like this entire area really is, at the very least, touched by nature. In some cases, integrated with it. Ooh.
So she'll just kind of wander around to the plants and like look at what kinds there are and just like vibe with them.
I'm vibing. I'm here for it.
Get some water, look at the food.
Ray, are there
That's it.
any animals wandering? Does the queen have any pets? Are there any royal pets?
out in the ballroom doesn't appear to
Is
be.
there a royal tiger?
There is not a royal tiger. She's
Where's
not
the royal
Princess
estuary?
Jasmine? She's not Princess Jasmine.
Where's the royal chameleon?
It's here, but you can't see it. No animals, unfortunately, that you can see. Yeah, nothing currently. The only areas that seem to be open to the public are the ballroom, the astronomy area, and the garden that you entered into.
I want to I'm gonna stand next to Mara and I want to send Ashtalora around the room and I just kinda wanna listen in on some conversations. I kinda wanna snoop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I wanna get a feel of what's going on, what's happening.
Okay. At the moment, most of the talk is about y'all. Coming in escorted by the captain of the guard, having a discussion, and being approached rather than approaching the queen. And, y'all just stealing the show by looking gorgeous with your outfits.
And being allowed to be armed in the queen's presence.
Yeah, at the moment, you are the ones pulling the majority of the attention. Although there's some small bickering and other such, just general conversations going on, some out of context things that don't really make a whole lot of sense considering you don't really live in the city. But yeah.
Is there sushi?
Nothing. Yes.
Okay.
Anyone care for a drink?
Dawan comes up to you, Orin, with a plate full of sushi.
Jacaranda's just spilled water on the ground. Because that's how she drinks. So she's just standing in a bottle of water.
We do not deserve Jacaranda.
Just like
Jacaranda especially is going to be drawing a lot of attention, considering that Enkaima are incredibly rare. So seeing one is quite the who the fuck is that? I have no idea. She's a tree and she's moving. I know.
And making a mess.
I can't believe Jacaranda is like an actual Disney princess.
We have a whole group of Disney princesses here.
I think I've been dubbed the anime protagonist.
Yeah,
thank
how
you.
dare you? Erden is clearly Sailor
true.
Moon.
Yeah, Orin will awkwardly shuffle towards the bar and grab a whiskey, and for anyone else who wants something, and then come back out to the garden.
Do you mean
Bold of you to assume they're serving whiskey.
Oh.
It's all wine here, friend. It's
And I'm
all
like,
fancy wines.
And how are they gonna see you?
Oi!
There are other gnomes and half.
The bartender all of a
other
sudden just
such
sees-
individuals.
I'm
Just
sure.
sees a tree.
Oi! What kind of drinks you got?
There's just a hand slapping the counter.
There are other gnomes and halflings here. It's not like.
But they're not gonna have gnome-sized bars. What?
Yes, they do.
Why do they cook?
I have my staff. I'm gonna pole vault myself onto a bar stool.
No, even if there was a gnome-sized bar, Orin wouldn't go to it. Orin would go to the full-size bar.
Yeah.
Just out of spite, yes.
Shoes be damned. I can launch myself onto a bar stool. That's my talent.
Spite is a powerful motivator.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is wine. It is a lot of
Alright.
wine.
Well, I guess I'll have a glass of wine then, please.
You get kind of this, a little bit of a snooty, just, very well, sir. Pours out. definitely grabbed one of the cheaper bottles. You could absolutely notice that as they've gone ahead and poured out a few glasses for you and everyone else as you go ahead and peruse the general area. Is there anything specific that anyone would like to do or go into before meeting with the queen?
Mara takes Eridan on the dance floor and dances with her.
I can't draw fast enough. I'm yelling at my roommate sleeping. I'm waiting for the message that says you're half Italian, act like it. Eridan will smile and follow Mara out to the dance floor. I feel like Eridan's not a bad dancer. She's probably not great. She's not a bad dancer.
She can fight, she can dance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are a song, whatever you call it. You can dance.
Like, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
You can dance if you wanna.
Yep.
That one. Alrighty.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing besides that. And then whenever her queeniness, when the hour is up.
All right.
Weeniness.
Queeniness. Anything else for anyone else?
Listen, the Worm Queen would have let me hug her.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure, though?
I am sure.
But
I think-
if you hug the Worm Queen, would you be able to let go of the Worm Queen?
Probably not.
I think Jacaranda wants to try dancing too.
Okay. I'm here
And
for
so
it.
she's kind of like the wacky waving arm, inflatable tube man.
Picturing like baby Groot, like in the little pot, just like.
Oh,
Yep.
totally.
Yes.
Valentine will dance with you.
It's gonna be really fun.
That'd be great.
I
Valentine will
love
dance
this.
with you. If you accept.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yay!
She like her dancing. She likes her space. She doesn't want to like slow dance or anything, but we can move next to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Valentine is totally down for like spacious dancing.
Hell yeah.
It's just like me. I like my space when I'm dancing.
Is Dawan just kind of on the edge watching all of this? Or?
Yeah, Dawan is happily
Josh-
standing there munching away on some sushi.
She has found some corner.
She's not in the corner. She's like wherever the group was, but she has just her plate and she's just watching them have fun. If
Friend's
you are
gonna come up.
staring at Dawn,
Mhm.
she's gonna look towards you, still munching on some sushi.
So looking back at you, probably like something like.
Yeah, just like there's a little like shrimp tail sticking out of her lips.
Stop, that's so
I
cute.
was-
Die.
Or is just gonna come up next to her and. It's quite a fun bunch we got here.
Incredibly. Are you a dancer?
I've danced before. I don't think I'd like to try it wearing shoes. This is very uncomfortable.
Good. And she's just going to offer you some of her sushi and
thank you
continue
very much.
eating.
Munch, munch.
Munch. Listen, I feel like fresh fish in a farming village was not a common thing.
Very true. Very true. It's been a long time since you've had some good shoes.
Shoot. It sounded like you said shoes.
It sounded like you were about to say juicy.
Jesus.
Sushi. There we go. I got there in the end.
Except for that fish she caught in her mouth when we got sucked down into the worm tunnels.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all continue to mingle for a little while, grabbing drinks, dancing, and just generally having a good time. Before the hour is up, you go ahead and speak to one of the guards who leads you through one of these side doors into what appears to be another kind of like a smaller room. This time it looks more like a personal drawing room. There's a few books scattered around, a couple of comfortable seats, a few tables, and other such paraphernalia. As you step inside, Queen Elwyn is currently sat on a chair near one of the desks and appears to be halfway through writing something before looking up and just, wonderful. I suppose we should have that talk. As she places the pen down and interlocks her fingers together. That's where we'll wrap the session. As we'll go ahead and deal with the chat with Elwyn next time.
So good, so good.
Oh, it was so good.
Y'all deserved a bit of a break after dealing with so many bugs. Y'all deserved a nice, like, fireside chat and some,
We had travel time
Yay.
and dress up.
Yes.
That was a
and
fun
some
session.
dress-up time.
Even though Dawan hated it, Jesse loved it.
Right?
And we also had threatening to destroy our enemies, so, you know, we had
Indeed,
everything.
indeed.
And characters supporting characters.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it
It's
so much.
Mara.
We don't deserve Jacaranda.
We do not.
Sweet.
We do not.
I'm loving this, like,
Yay.
budding friendship
What-
between Valentine and Jacaranda. Just, yeah, let's just go for it. Why not?
Did you say budding?
Yes, I said budding.
Ah!
I didn't mean to.
We're rubbing off on you.
The
Damn it.
perfect pun
Listen,
is
the-
the one you don't intend.
The cleric's
It's
crew
true,
is a
it's
tight
true.
crew, okay? We're gonna be all friends. We're gonna be the cleric click. Cleric click.
The cleric click.
No.
The click click.
Just want to support our friends and uplift them.
And
Hell
buff
yeah.
them, and debuff enemies, and heal them.
That's uplifting.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see where all of this goes and unfolds and where your characters go. I'm super, super, super excited.
Just waiting for
Alrighty.
the off with your head moment with Queen Elwyn here.
I know, I mean, I don't know, that moon
It's
card,
like-
it could have some interesting things.
Alrighty, we're gonna do a quick around the horn here, just to let everyone advertise themselves, and you should definitely go ahead and support everybody here because they're all fantastic, and I love playing with them, and I love this. So yeah, gonna go in reverse order this time. Adam.
Hello, I am Adam. You can catch me at AdamHardyVO on Instagram and Twitter. I do the post-production for The Mind and the Martyr, so if you want to catch up on older episodes, check out our YouTube at Friends Who Roll Dice, and also our podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, a bunch of other platforms too. And I add in some like music from Sirenscape and sound effects from Sirenscape and my own creation. I just kind of Frankenstein some stuff together. It's a lot of fun.
It's so good.
So good.
I have so much fun doing it, so please check it out. It's a good way to catch up with the madness that is The Mind and the Martyr. So.
God, there really is no better descriptor other than madness.
We love getting occasional messages of just, hey, so how does this sound? And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh my god.
So good.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
good.
they describe a sound, and I'm like, okay, I think this is what I'm going for, and I'll do it, and I'll be like, do you like this? And then,
And then it's usually just heart emojis.
yeah, the most general reaction is squee.
Appropriate. Love it.
Yeah, check out last episode because there's a lot of cool
Yes.
spells in episode 34.
Awesome. Cole.
Hey, howdy, hey, I'm Cole. You can find me at Cole Moriel on Twitter. I'm currently cooking up some new portraits. They're coming along slowly but surely. as we can see with Dewan's new background, which I have to find a better crop for because it hurts my feelings because there's so many other plants that are not in there. So I will be fixing that.
I'll work on it on my iPad too, so that I can get all of the wonderfulness here. I might see if I can add a certain kitty cat tail coming up.
Yes, you should. I definitely, it was in the sketch, and then I just kind of...
I saw it in your sketch, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna add it back in. So there's a little kitty cat.
Bonus of having another artist on the crew. So, yes. So those are in the works. You can find me tomorrow on Rule of Lore playing my Swords Bard, Drow Lady, as we be gay and do heist in Waterdeep, with Colin as our lovely DM, who is also sending us to a fancy party. So come join. It's party week this week, so come hang out. Yeah, join our Discord. I'm actually pretty quiet in there lately, but before I was really active in there. I'll pop in. Yep. Join our Discord. It's a fun place, and there's always people talking, even if it's not me. That wasn't a good advertisement. Someone else talk.
Melissa, you want to take over here?
Okay. Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm So Much Geek on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. And I stream myself playing video games on Twitch. And then on Thursdays, I'm currently in a Cyberpunk Red campaign where things are getting pretty intense with some AI interactions and us being chased down by a Terminator-like being that is very scary. I drive a lot in it, which is fun and cool. So yeah, come check us out over on worldsmith_cam on Thursday evenings. I post about it on Twitter, so check out my Twitter. That's where I post like all of the things and me being sad about Animal Crossing stuff. So I will hopefully see some of you there sometime. Thank you.
Sweet. Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jessie. Choose the Moose on the interwebs. I do art things, except that I'm currently doing art things that are secret. So there's not a lot of posting. I need to catch up on that first, because it's catching up to me. Yes, this is it. This is where you catch me. This is the end of my sentence. I don't know what to say. I'm tired. I have a doctor's appointment.
Everyone's like, yay, we had so much fun.
It was so
I
much
need to sleep. Leona.
I also want to draw everyone in there for Moffat, which I'm sure Cole also wants to do. So like, hey, Cole.
I was about to say, are we doing that? Can we do that?
We can do that, because I'm definitely going to draw Dawan, so.
Okay, great. I'm trying to draw. Yeah, go on. Yes.
We'll split it up.
We'll have drawings for everyone soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hi! Oh, I'm so excited for that. Hello, I'm Leona. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. You can also find me on Saturdays at 2 p.m. PST on the Dicey Amazons channel, where I am one of the people behind the screen, sometimes in the boxes in front of the screen, on Vibrant Legends. So come hang out with the All Bimpuck, a one-shot series crew. We have lots of fun. We play lots of indie RPGs, so it's a really cool time because it's always something different. Last week we played Ithaca in the Carhards. It was very, very fun. It was like blackjack combined with roleplay. It was very interesting. Beyond that, I am a sensitivity reader and an intersectionality consultant, so feel free to hit up my Twitter to hear more about all the kinds of projects that I'm on and more about what I do. That's me.
Awesome. And Rochelle.
I'm Rochelle, Dragon Gem here on Twitch. I stream on Sundays when my computer is working. But I'm here every Monday, no matter what. But yeah, I am the Dragon Gem on the Twitters. You should follow me. Sometimes I tweet about our show and the craziness that is us, the chaos. But thanks for coming, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Again, throw a follow to all these wonderful people. They are fantastic, and support them in their projects because they're fantastic. I don't need any more explanation than that. Hi, I'm Ray. I have been your humble GM for this session here. You can find me at RedMageRay on Twitter. You can find me in a few places at the moment. More recently, I joined a whole bunch of our Emporium friends in order to help raise money for cancer research. We ended up playing a bunch of Red Dead Online, and that was a whole bunch of fun. Other than some horrible hacker people, but we'll ignore that part. That was a whole bunch of fun. I plan on popping up on a few more of their streams here and there with both Red Dead Online and Valheim, which I haven't actually started yet, but Vikings, how could I say no? So yeah, I plan on popping up and helping them raise some more money here and there. TTRPG stuff, you can find me on Fridays GMing the Stygian Shroud, which is a 12 to 20 Curse of Strahd sequel that I went through and basically removed all the crappy parts out of, and we decided to make it super fun. So you can catch that on Fridays, and then on Saturdays I am over on Savoric's channel with some Star Wars, playing my Grey Jedi Keldor, which is again super fun. I have not had that much fun with a character in quite a while. And every other Sunday, wrapping up our Curse of Strahd campaign over on Featherfall. We are on the last couple of sessions. We were about to fight Strahd, and my now multi-classed Bloodhunter Artificer is having quite an interesting time with the situation. So yeah, that's me. Check me out on Twitter. I'm usually around scheming.
And doesn't sleep.
I do not sleep. Yes, usually around scheming, planning things for my players or something. Thank you so much to everybody who's hanging out in chat. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the raids. I didn't catch y'all because I was too busy thinking about this, but thank you so much for coming and raiding. Thank you to anyone who has donated either tonight or beforehand for our cancer research streams. We do have a bunch of other charity events on the way, so keep an eye on Friends Who Roll Dice on Twitter. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and roll some credits here before going on a raid. Thank you so much. Please stick around so that we can send the love that you've given us somewhere else. And yeah, I think that's everything. I said a lot. I'm sorry. Unless I'm missing anything. I don't think I am. But thank you so much for watching. Keep safe, keep well, keep moving forward, and we will see all of y'all very soon.